Thank you very much, Chair, and also the French Chamber for having organized this and for having given us the chance to speak. I will be very quick since Andalib wanted to hear my views. I will quickly sum up what has happened between France and Bangladesh, and especially what the French buyers have done. Our embassy in Paris, in France, has been very, very active, and they've always asked for information from us, and we've sort of, we've given them as much information as we had. So they're almost up to date with that, except that, there are two, especially two buyers which have absolutely canceled out on us. One is Kamayu and another is Lahal. So these two have been problematic for us. Otherwise, Celio and everyone, they've all gradually come into negotiation and they've sort of accepted with discounts, of course. So here, Mr. Kiaksang, who I consider my mentor and a long-standing leader of the industry, has already said that, it is what it is right now. We just have to gradually get back to life and get back to business. That is a reality. But one thing we need to also keep in mind, and that is that the retail sales in EU is actually, it's dropped to almost 64% in April. So that is a reality that we must keep in mind, that, retail sales are going down. Now, what do we do to get back there? Well, first of all, I don't think we've done our homework so far in terms of the industry, because if I just look at the product mismatch of what happens between France and Bangladesh, it's pretty evident. I mean, as much as Asan Bhai would like to think that, business from China is going to flow in, I would very much like to believe that as well. But, if we just bring it to your attention that, France imports, man-made fiber-based anoraks for about $591 million, and Bangladesh just supplies $24 million. So you see, there are huge opportunities in other product categories that we don't supply to. Easily, there are synthetic dresses, women's wear, which France buys from the world for about $470 million. And we only supply $3.41 million. So just imagine. I mean, there is a huge, we have actually listed 10 top products where Bangladesh could do a lot better, and we are not still there. I'll happily share it with Dr. Mansoor and with French Chamber. You can easily circulate it, just for understanding. Also, we have to kind of understand with all the cancellations down there. Asan Bhai, you did mention about environment. I would like to humbly bring all your attention down to the fact that, it's just not environmental compliance that's going to get us through anymore, because right now the tables have turned. The buyers need to understand that without a proper sync between sustainability and sourcing, if they just speak about sustainability, it's not enough. They need to act up and actually perform. And what they have done to us during COVID is unimaginable. It's been apocalyptic. So we need to get out of that position, and getting out of that position is not going to be easy unless we devise methods of looping them into ethical and properly, actually fair purchasing practices. For that, we are currently working with ICAB on revising contracts. How can we revise contracts? And even if a French company or whoever gives us any kind of contract, if we present that as a government-endorsed mandatory contract to be supplementing their contracts, at least we have some legal ground, because otherwise we are all lost. And, after declaring bankruptcies, any company, including French companies, what they have done is they've left us in the lurch, and, we've had to pursue our own path, even through our French mission, our mission in France, to find lawyers and to find the spokesman. So I think enforcing contracts that are standardized for Bangladesh is absolutely a necessity at this point. That is one. Number two, the vulnerability of the sector, especially for the payment of workers, has been completely exposed. So there must be an unemployment fund scheme supported by everyone in this case. if French government can be brought on board with that, that would be helpful. EU and the Germans have, sort of, that's a different equation altogether. But even then, Andali also knows, I'm sure, much better than I do. But, unemployment fund scheme is something that we need to enforce at this point of time, because our workers are not included in the government social safety net. So that's another issue that we need to have. Number three, there are lots of international financial institutions, IFIs, which are actually offering help. In this case, especially for the French market, where we do see a lot of potential, can we work through IFIs and have a reconstruct and address the reconstruction of post-COVID Bangladesh ready-made garment sector? That's also an issue we need to have. So I think lots of issues are there, but economic diplomacy happens to be a big favorite phrase of all of us, but we depend on it. We depend on it because we need the Ministry of Foreign Affairs help in actually addressing all these buyers. And I'm not saying we have to take them by task, because it's not a question of naming and shaming, but I think strategic alignments with the ministry and the associations is a must, which we have anyway. I mean, we try and respond to as much as we can, but I think an active engagement on a weekly basis would really benefit the industry. At least then the buyers would know that they cannot really do whatever they want to do, because they will be accountable to at least some local representation in the French soil. So I think in case of disputes, if we could find ways of embassy to arbitrate also on behalf of us, that would be really, really helpful. So I stopped here. I think I've spoken enough, but my thought still rests on the issue that we will not recover business 100% till about middle of next year. And the consumer tastes are going to change. So I request, French Chamber to be more active in linking B2B, because I think online is absolutely soaring. So online business is going to come up in Bangladesh. And unfortunately, we don't have very friendly online policies. So we hope that we all move together with a vibrant virtual marketplace as well. And if the French Chamber of Commerce can engage with BGMEA in floating a virtual marketplace, we would be happy to partner that. Thank you very much, Dr. Mansoor. Thank you, French